Well, good morning. It's about a little after 9 a.m. here at the Dripping Springs campground. It's just a little ways outside of Temecula, about 5 miles or so outside of Temecula. And this is the campground and the hiking trail that's the closest one to the Cleveland National Forest from my house. It's only a few miles, and for that reason alone, that's one of the reasons I don't go here. A lot of chaparral, a lot of low-lying scrub brush. It's not the most exciting trail in the world, but it is close, and believe it or not, I've never actually explored most of the way to the top of the ridgeline. So today I'm going to try to do about 14 miles, I think. We'll see how it goes. It's about 6.9 miles from the trailhead here at the turnaround at Dripping Springs up to the Palomar Maggie truck trail that kind of crisscrosses a couple of different sections of the wilderness here. Wild Horse Peak is to the left, and Agua Tibia Mountain is to the right, and the Dripping Springs Trail goes up a little ways. It splits off left to go to the Wild Horse Peak loop. I'm not going that way. I'm going to go right up the Dripping Springs Trail up to the Palomar Maggie Road, the truck trail, and then I'm just going to do a turnaround and come back home. So it's still going to be 14 miles, and it's almost 3,000 feet of elevation gain, so it's still going to be pretty significant for a hike. The one thing I wanted to mention is this is where I used to take the kids camping, and they've got a gate up here now. It's probably always been there, I never noticed, but now it's locked. And the campsites down this end, which are actually the better campsites of all the ones here at the campground, are closed. And I haven't seen any signs yet, but I have a feeling it has to do with the mating area of the western arroyo toad. You think it'd be kind of odd to close down a whole area just for a small little toad, but believe it or not, the western arroyo toad is on the endangered species list. And of all places in the world, it's only found right here in the Arroyo Seco Creek, which is right behind me here, right in front of me here. And we're going to cross over it here in a second. I'll get you a little shot down the creek. And that's the actual mating grounds. And they only mate during a very few months out of the year, and because of the Endangered Species Act, they don't want to disturb them. So the trail is open, the campground is closed. We're going to cross the creek, and we're going to head up the ridgeline toward the top and the Palomar Maggie Road. This is the login register here for the Dripping Springs Trail. So we're supposed to log in. I'm going to do that. Looks like today is the 31st, and it looks like Bobby is here already. He started up at 8:10. Well, we're finally actually starting down the trail. I just signed in at the register back there. I mentioned a little bit about the western arroyo toad, and this is the area where the arroyo toad lives. And you're thinking that this is a creek and it's dry, and normally this time of year there'd be some kind of water in it, but believe it or not, this is the environment that the toad really likes. He likes this dry, semi-arid areas, and there's little pockets in between the rocks and crevices where at some points the arroyo toad lays his eggs, and he lives and spawns and breeds and grows to a mature state right here in this creek bed. So I'm not going to get too far off the trail here. I just wanted to show it to you, as my phone must get cell signal. I just heard a message pop in. So anyway, we're going to head up the trail, which is going to go this way, and we're going to head up the Dripping Springs Trail a few miles. It looks like it's going to be a nice day today. There's a storm moving in. It's supposed to be here actually tonight after 11. You probably won't get it till 1 or 2 in the morning, but something to keep in mind if you're stranded out here during the night. Always be prepared. Always have some type of shelter, rain gear at least, and an ability to stay warm, way to make a fire or something. So keep that in mind when you're up here. If something happens to me today, at least I'm prepared. I can start a fire. I can have a shelter. And it's all contained in this little Swiss bread bag. I talked about this on several other occasions. I'm actually kind of digging it, so I'm going to use it today on our little hike up here at the Dripping Springs area in an area just east of Temecula. Well, as you can see, this looks like it's going to be a no-nonsense elevation gainer on an exposed ridge line going up quite a ways. There's a switch back down below me that it just came up, so I have a feeling we're going to switch back up several times. View is starting to open up a little bit behind me. I don't know if you can see it right there. That's Mount San Jacinto over there, and way over in the corner here is San Gorgonio. There's just a tiny little bit of snow on the tip top. So things I'm a little worried about today is because it's been so unseasonably warm, rattlesnakes could come out, lay across the trail, or be holed up right next to the trail and be waiting to ambush some unsuspecting prey. So I got to keep my eye out for rattlesnakes. I did see a trip report where somebody mentioned that there were 2 king snakes they saw along the trail. That'd be kind of cool. I've only seen a king snake one time. It's a big one too. So hopefully I'll get to see some activity here. This is a mountain lion area, but you know, bright sunny day during the daytime, odds of seeing that are about 1,000,000 to 1. There are coyotes and fox and bobcat and, you know, all kinds of rabbits and squirrels and stuff like that. But I don't anticipate seeing a lot of activity. There's mule deer here as well. Probably won't see any of those unless they're in the shaded areas, and it doesn't look like there's going to be much of that. Anyways, we're heading up the ridge line along the Dripping Springs Trail. Well, it looks like the trail's flattened out a little bit. I have a little bit of a view behind me here, but this is kind of the hiking that I don't like. This is that hot, open sagebrush type trails that are just bushwhacked through the middle. There's really not much to look at. I can't see more than, I don't know, 60, 70 feet in front of me as I'm working my way up, and it looks like it's going to continue like this all the way up to the top of that ridge. So looks like I'm in for a long slog today. Thank God I've got a wide brim hat and sunglasses. I might just leave the sleeves rolled down on my shirt for the added sun protection. And when we get up here a ways, there's a section I was warned about. There's some grasses that encroach along the trail, and it's a hitchhiker heaven for ticks. There are ticks in this region, all of the areas in the southwest Riverside area, but this area in particular, on the way out to San Jacinto, there's quite a bit of them, and you got to really be careful during certain times of the year. Normally it's April, May, June, but I have read some trip reports about people that got ticks as early as January and February. So especially with it being as dry and hot as it has been this year, I wouldn't put it past them. Well, it looks like I've topped this ridge here, and it's actually got a pretty good view. I didn't know you actually had a view this direction. I guess I've never been up this way. I guess I've always taken the Wild Horse Peak Loop and not the Dripping Springs Trail, because you actually got a pretty decent shot toward the coast. In fact, I know you won't be able to pick it up on the video, but it's got a pretty spectacular view from right here. In fact, let me go up here a little higher up. Not only can I see San Gorgonio and San Jacinto, I can actually see Mount Baldy, which is the LA County high point from up here. Let me work my way up here to the top of this little hill here. We've actually got a pretty decent shot to the west over here. That's actually Saddleback Mountain, which is the Orange County high point over there, and can't really make it out, but Mount Baldy is right over there through the haze. There's a vineyard over here, which I didn't know existed, and that's all of the Temecula Valley down there. That's actually a pretty good shot. I actually hear people. There's somebody coming down the trail. There was only one person. As far as I know, there's only one person on this trail, but I hear somebody talking. He's talking to somebody. Maybe it's a husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend. It sounds like a female, so I'm not hiking that fast. So either they're hiking slower than me or they're already coming back. So I might run into them here in a few minutes. But anyway, this is a little unexpected, pleasant view here along the Dripping Springs Trail. Well, it's about 10:45 in the morning. Sun is definitely getting hotter. And it doesn't help that I'm on this side of the ridge. It gets no air. And I think I can feel the heat coming up from this canyon bottom over here. I'm almost at 4 miles so far on the Dripping Springs Trail. I'm at about 3.4, and it's definitely heating up. Looks like I'm going to go, I'll spin around here so you can see it, up the top of this little pass right here, and I'm probably going to go to the right and work my way up that way. So I'm getting there. I'm still almost 3 miles from the Palomar Maggie Road Chart Trail. So we'll see if I get that far. It's only 10:45 though. I got lots of time. I mentioned back at the beginning part of this video, there's an area up here that's loaded with ticks, and they affectionately refer to it as Tick Alley. I did notice a few things as I'm entering mile 4 here. It's getting a little more encroached on the trail, the brush, so ticks, hitchhikers hitchhiking along. There's also the stuff that I saw earlier, and I made reference to it that it was wild cucumber, and it actually is. And if you can see behind me here, in the brush, you can actually see the cucumber right there hanging down. They don't look like your normal cucumber, but from what I was told, I believe they're edible. So I'm not going to try it today, but food for thought for next adventure. I'll look it up and see. Looks pretty spiny. Looks like it's a lot of work. Well, this is what I've been dealing with for the last several hours. Just open sagebrush and steep slopes. But I am treated to one of the better views along the way here. You can see Vail Lake right there. Over in the distance to the north and west is Lake Skinner. And when I'm on the other side, you can actually see another lake off toward the Fallbrook region. I don't know what lake that is. That could be Guanome Lake, or there's a regional park. I'm not sure. But I wish it was a little clearer, but I'll take what I can get. Well, I just crested a rise here, and now I'm looking south. I'm finally closing in on those damn pine trees. You can see right through there, looks like a couple of switchbacks. And obviously the trail is down there, so it must work its way up as it works its way up toward those pine trees. So that's where I'm shooting for. Should be there in an hour, I would imagine. I mentioned earlier about the yucca. It's all dead. Everything I've seen so far has been dead. I just passed over a small little intermittent stream down there, and it was bone dry. But above it there were all kinds of deer scat, literally a pile about every 10-15 feet or so. So obviously at some points during the year, deer come down out of the chaparral and they feed down there in that stream, but looks like they're going to have to find a new place. Well, this is another view from along the ridge line. If you remember back a little ways, I was talking about that slope with the pine trees. Well, I'm on it. I'm on the switchbacks, and they're a little steeper over here. There's Vail Lake again. Good aerial shot of San Gorgonio and San Jacinto. In fact, if you look down the ridgeline way off in the distance, you probably can't see it, the dome of Mount Palomar. It's about right there, and then to the left of that is High Point, which is actually the highest point in the ridgeline. It's a little over 6,000 feet, the highest point in the Palomar Mountain Range. But we're going this way, up there. You know, I've been seeing a lot of deer droppings on the trail, and I've seen berries in them, and now I know what they're eating. They're eating the manzanita berries along the trail. There's some other plant life that's actually growing at this elevation. Makes it a little scenic. And of course, we still have that tremendous view over Vail Lake. Well, I'm getting closer. I'm about 6.7, 6.8. I see pine trees up here. I don't know for sure whether that Palomar Maggie Road is on the top of the ridge or is it cut down the side of the ways of the ridge. I don't really know, but I can definitely see pine trees. And here comes a good breeze, and actually my first pine tree is about 100 yards ahead of me here. Maybe whoa, there goes the hat. Finally in the pine trees. Now I stopped right here because this is a nice little clearing. Wouldn't be too bad of a spot for a camp, but I checked the software on my map, and that road is right up here. So rather than stop here, I'm going to continue up this narrow trail. Somebody took the liberty of hanging some little blue markers in the trees, and it's kind of nice because there was also what looked like a path going that direction. So I'm going to head through the thick brush. In fact, you know, here's the sign right here. Coming up on it right here. Well, maybe that was the camp area. Yeah, Palomar Maggie Trail to the left, and Dripping Springs Trail to the right. Still don't see the road. Well, I'm taking a break along the Dripping Springs Trail. I'm almost at the split. The split's right behind me here. This is a nice little oak woodland where I decided to do my lunch break here. It was 7.4 miles from where I parked the car to here. It's a little more than the 6.9 that I read about. I think that included, I didn't include the half mile hike to the campground. So anyway, I worked my way up here. I'm taking a break. I cooked up some soup I'm going to have for lunch. I could use the hydration and the calories. I'm using, I don't know if you can see it over here, a little Stanley cook set. It was 14 bucks at Walmart. This thing is a godsend. It works great, single-walled aluminum, so you can cook on an open fire with it. And just to show you how this works, this is still just a little warm. This is the IKEA wood-burning stove that I made. And you can see just after a few minutes of cooling down, I can handle the can already. It's got a couple of tent pegs that I put in there, and just so I could show you here. The little cook set sits right on top. And in fact, actually, originally, I cooked my soup right on top there. And then when that was at a rolling boil, I took it off, I added some more wood, and then I threw this on there with water in it, and then I made my tea. So, as it sets right now, I'm waiting for my soup to cool down. It's a little too hot. In the meantime, I have my little Kapilska cup. It's about an 8-ounce, not really hand carved. It's almost like a wood byproduct that they use, but it basically is the same as a Scandinavian or Finnish design drinking cup. And I thought it was appropriate, being out here in the woods today, treat myself to using my Kapilska cup. That tea is refreshing. I've got to make sure I get all my hydration in. So still 7.5 miles to go to get back to the car. Well, it's about 10 to 4, and I've been hiking for almost 2 hours since I left the top. And it's been mostly exposed ridgeline, and you can see, not that mountain. On the other side of that mountain is the one where I came from. In fact, you can see over here on this one, over there, that's the ridge line I was on to the left of that. So this is a This is kind of a hard hike. It's a little harder than I thought. But I'm only a couple of miles from the car, and looks like I'm going to be back. I'm hoping by 4:35 at the latest. So we'll see. I can't see the campground yet. I know it's down there, way down at the bottom. So, but you can see where I've come from. It's all in this open exposed ridgeline. Still got a ways to go. Well, I made it. According to the GPS, it was a 14.24 of a mile round trip. So it took me a while. It's a little after 4. It only took me 2 hours and 10 minutes to get down. That's not bad. It was about, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to say tough-wise, it was about a 7. It was pretty tough. I'm tired. But I'm glad to be back in the campground where there's some shade, and car is still a half mile away down here at the end, but that's not too bad. It'll be a little under 15 till I get to the car. That's a good day. 15 miles in the backcountry. What a 15 miles in the backcountry. Not a better way to spend it. Here at Dripping Springs Campground, just east of Temecula. Well, I'm almost back to the car. According to the GPS, it's 14.65 right here. I can see the Jeep from here, parked in the day-use parking lot. So I've already walked, I don't know, almost a half mile through the car campground at Dripping Springs here, and I'm almost back to my vehicle, another 100 yards or so. Take the boots off, get a big swig of ice water out of an ice chest in the car, and the one good thing about this is it's only about a 10-minute drive home. So it was a good day. I went all the way up the Dripping Springs Trail from the Dripping Springs Campground here all the way up to the Palomar Maggie Truck Trail. Had lunch and came back down. Started at about 9, got to the top about 1, took about an hour break, left there at 2, got back about 4:20. So that's not too bad. That's a fulfilling, rewarding day. But as far as hikes go, the Dripping Springs Trail, if you're thinking about coming up here and doing that trail, do something else. There's really not that much to look at unless you like head-high sagebrush. There are some views, but there's no wildlife. There's really no shade. There's nothing much to look at except sagebrush and rocky trail. So if you're going to do 14 and a half, 15 miles, there's plenty of other places I could think of that are better than this. But if you live in Temecula like I do, I guess it's a rite of passage, as I'm here at the vehicle now. So this is it. This is going to conclude this adventure of Anthony's audio journal, the Dripping Springs Trail toward the top of Palomar Mountain. See you next time. Bye-bye.
I'm singing la la la. It's la la la, yeah. Singing la la la. Go, I'm singing, I'm so happy, I'm singing la la la. Why so happy? And I'm so happy, I'm singing la la la. Man, I'm so happy, I'm singing la la la.